Well, Steve warned it after, and it's a bit like a tough one because the result was awful, but the performance was really good, and it's hard, it's hard to criticise anybody because of that.
I think ultimately all anyone really remembers is the result, and it's another game we've come away from nothing, so I don't want to sugarcoat that. However, the people that were physically there, rather than people that are just looking at it on social media, will know that we more than played our part in the game. So, yeah, if you're going to let 3 soft goals in, you're going to be hard pushed to win a game of football.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, but I think overall, I mean, what said it all for me was they had players who weren't playing, who were stood over behind us, and they reacted at the end like they won the cup. They knew they had a tough game, I think.
They had a tough game, and I've got absolutely no issue with anyone celebrating a victory because they're hard to come by. And yeah, we certainly didn't roll over. Something we said in the pre-match team talk, the dust has well and truly settled on the Vars campaign now and the Lingfield game. And subsequent to that, I've had discussions with a lot of people that care about the club, including obviously attending the meeting with the fans. And one thing that has been said on more than one occasion is that people felt, we let the club down a little bit against Lingfield in terms of the energy and the desire and the commitment that we put into that performance. So I did lay that on the boys last night, and I said that the absolute bare minimum is there's got to be desire and determination to put a shift in for the shirt. I think that was there, but we've let 3 soft goals in. So
Yeah,
you can't look past that.
The other thing to put in context is the team you had to put out where, you were missing Dan Tier, so you had to change your back line a bit. You had the heart of the team out where you didn't have Jack, Luke or Billy. That's that. Everything goes through those 3 in a way. So to take that out and still give such a good performance, you've had to use the squad. And those that come in have done all right.
Yeah, we've definitely had to use the squad. And I think the boys that are getting game time hopefully know that it's their opportunity to showcase what they can do and get a grip on a shirt, because quite obviously we're missing some key players. It's unusual. I mean, I'm sure every team would name 1 or 2 players who weren't available in a given game, but when you think not only have we not had a good pre-season together, not only are we in a little bit of transition in terms of playing personnel, when you think back to some of the key players from last season who are no longer with the club, we're not even able to get what we would consider our key players on the pitch. Nothing's set in stone, and all shirts are up for grabs at all times, and possession's 9/10 of the law, and if people play well, they've got every right to keep the shirt. But I think most people on paper would probably say Woods, Leps and Bill is probably our first choice midfield. So
and it's also, I'm guessing when you're putting out your team, write down your team sheet, okay, so you put Trout at the top, and then the next 3 names you put in are just those 3. And that doesn't change if you've got your strongest team on.
As I say, I would say, having said all of that I thought Harry, Rory and Festos did really well in that midfield. And to be truthful, I don't think it was the midfield that lost us the game. It was just some individual mistakes and some lapses of concentration. However, you'd like to think if you've got your more experienced players on the pitch, and I think, in addition to the 3 that I've just mentioned, you can obviously put Dan Tier and you can obviously put George Bentley into those brackets. So I think what the experienced players bring is that communication, that they've just got that database of experience where they organise people. They don't just look after themselves, they organise others, and things like the set piece goal we've conceded, maybe that doesn't happen if you've got your best players on the pitch, maybe. just because they're more used to organising. The boys have done all right. They've tried their hardest. Wouldn't think anyone there would fault the effort. Be surprised if anyone did. But ultimately, yeah, it's still another L against.
Well, like you say, in midfield, you know, Harry and Rory came in, and they gave their all the whole game.
Yeah.
You know, and at times the problem was they were just a bit overloaded because they played 3 in midfield, we had 2. But like I think you've explained with their wingers how it changed as well. So there's always going to be an overload.
Ultimately, you've got 11v11. That's football.
Yeah.
How you choose to move, how you choose to set up, and then how you choose to execute that. You know, that's the tactical side of football. And I've had enough of a look at Glebe now, having that been the 3rd time we played them, and also watching them on Saturday against Lyd, to have a reasonably good idea how they like to play. We feel we've got a way of containing that and still offering a bit of a threat. And actually, for large portions of the game we did. The goals that we've conceded, one's a freak, one's a dead ball. The 3rd one is possibly the one where you've got to say, okay, they've done okay there. But I think we have played our part in that goal, and the timing of it. Someone told me it was 70 seconds after we equalised, and again, maybe if you just got a bit more experience on the pitch, you know, you just fought hard, you're in the ascendancy, you got back in the game, you've got your equaliser, which I personally believe was thoroughly deserved at that time. You then just say, right, 5 minutes.
Yeah. And again, we just switch off. The frustrating thing is you've got your settled tactics exactly right, spot on, especially the first half where just let their back 4 have it, pass it side to side, and then they just got frustrated and ran out of ideas, and we're just lobbing the ball long all game. And then when we got the ball, I thought Regan, Festus and Alpha, who was the real surprise last night, being honest, no disrespect to him, but those 3 ripped them apart with their pace. And I mean, Regan had more space the whole game because he was scared of him. They could not work out what Alpha's legs were doing. I don't think Alpha could, you know. And again, Festus did a good job. So I think, you know, you got the tactics spot on.
Well,
it's just that.
It's small consolation when you lose, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's where I was leaning from. We've got everything spot on, but we're going to make the same stupid sort of mistakes that we've done all season where ball gets crossed into the box, we can't defend it. You know, I think you once said, I'd love us to give worldie goal away just once.
Well,
yeah.
We definitely didn't give a worldie. You know, look, I ain't going to take credit away from Glebe because they've scored 3 times at home, and I think any team that scores 3 times at home would thoroughly deserve and expect to win a game. Although we didn't manage to do it when we played them away, but let's gloss over that one for the time being. That said, I was told that they've had 4 shots on goal by an independent reporter who was at the game.
Yeah.
So we've restricted them quite well, and as you say, we've let them have the ball a little bit at the back because we understand that they're trying to overload the midfield. And we understand that if we come running out trying to shut their defenders down, well, we're going to create more gaps in an area where they're trying to hurt us. So we nullify that. We know how we can hurt teams, and that's with our pace and directness on both flanks and in and behind Trev. And we know that if we can get the ball into him, he's probably as lethal as anyone in the league. So in a nutshell, there's the plan. Everyone can hear it, try and stop it. What we can't legislate for is just basic errors, and look, I'm not going to pin anyone to the cross, but as you say, if you're seeing the same thing happen over and over again, then you've got to work to rectify that, haven't you? Because it kills the boys, you know. We have a huddle after the game. I actually said to them, you guys speak, you know, and if I'm honest, there was a part of me that was ready to kind of go, oh, bad luck boys, oh dear, but actually they've said that ain't good enough. You know, that they've said we cannot be coming here and not getting anything when we've had that much of the possession, that much of the opportunities. And I've said to them, look, great, I'm glad to hear you boys not accepting that. If you want to set the bar higher, you know, if we want to be saying that we should be coming here and getting something from the game, we've all got to up our levels. off the pitch, behind the scenes, on the training ground, everything. If people genuinely, and you guys have got it right, you guys pay your money to turn up, if everyone genuinely believes that we want to be coming to Glebe and beating them, the top of the league, remember, well, everyone has got to start setting their standards that that's what we've got to do. So we'll train tomorrow. All the boys that said that ain't good enough, well, they need to turn up, they need to be there, and we need to start raising the bar. The club needs to raise the bar, everyone needs to raise the bar. Because, you know, you can't serve up mediocrity and then expect us to somehow perform any more than mediocre, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think the key with that would be that word with your head now, consistency.
Say that word, yeah.
But if we play like we did last night against Punjab would put on a really good performance to beat us. Do you know what I mean? If we can just be consistent, we'll cause them no end of problems.
As long as we cut out the silly mistakes and manage to keep that level of performance and manage to get at least 2 or 3 of those names who we've highlighted that weren't available last night back in and around the squad, we've got a very good chance.
Yeah, because, I mean, the real kill for me is that actually we should have drawn that game because we did score a goal. You know, when their chairman comes over straight away and says, that was a goal, I saw the line, lots of grass, the ball, it went in, but their guy scooted back in the goal scramble. It's like, we're just not going to have any luck last night when that happens.
You guys were behind the goal, so your vantage point was significantly better than mine. I'm in no position to say whether that went over the line. The linesman, who to be fair, I found very amenable and willing to talk, which is all you can really ask from the officials. And I'll actually say the referee as well, probably as good a ref as we've had all season. The linesman said to me, I was straight in line with it, there's obviously a post in the way, but I cannot give it unless I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, well,
and I get that. I have to respect that decision. The fact that you guys, the fact that our players, the fact that maybe from what you're saying, some of the officials of the other team believed it was a goal.
Well, like I say, straight away their chairman came over to us and just said, that was good, perfectly good goal, guys. Sorry. And that's fair due to him. Not many chairmen would actually come over and say that.
Yeah.
And he was right in line with it.
That's the game, I suppose. And we haven't got VAR quite clearly, and we'll never
We
know.
haven't got
And there's
VAR.
nothing we can do about it, and we ain't got a VAR. If we didn't let 3 poor goals in, it would have been circumstantial.
Exactly.
So, look, let's stand up, and as I say, I'm not here to pin anyone to the cross, but ultimately, you know, keep your own house in order, and then we don't have to talk about referees. If we don't let in steady goals, it doesn't matter.
But about a bit like you were saying about the experience. I mean, Steve Smith came on last night, and yes, he's clearly rusty, but he was something we don't have, and that's another one where a bit more experience, a bit more wily, shall we say, is good to add to the team. So you're improving the team as we go along. I
mean, the squad has had quite a major overhaul since last season. Some of that was completely out of my hands. Some of it has just been through communication with some of the boys and just telling them where we're trying to go and just how their place is or isn't going to be in that. And at the same time, we're trying to recruit with a view to what we want to look like in the long term. And we're having to do that on the job a little bit because, like you say, we don't get friendlies. We don't, at this time of the season, we don't get too much training as we've talked about before. So we're having to do it on the job, and to have a player of Steve's calibre come available and affordable is fantastic. Now, Steve has been playing at a slightly different level, slightly lower level for the last season and a half, which suited his life, and he's now keen to kind of get back to what the standard he should be playing.
It shows how he's trying to develop the team because like last night, our attack, the 3 players behind were great, and then you have more coming on who can do that as well. So we've got lots of players like that, and build and play a 10 win. We haven't got centre forward, but it's even improving it. And there doesn't seem to be that many actually now from last season either.
No, I mean that's not conscious. It wasn't actually like I felt the decks needed to be cleared. I mean, some of the boys had gone prior to my name even been linked, and obviously Luke had already recruited a few of the boys like Sidge, who are now just starting to come into their own and become key players for us, and Rory was obviously already recruited. So actually, you know, it's not like we've intentionally made wholesale changes, but situations just arise. You know, the goalkeeper one's been a little bit of a sticky one for us. Nathan's been fantastic. Do you know what I mean? To step up from the 23s.
At 19.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I think he's just turned 20, but yeah, even so, I don't want to do him injustice. I don't believe he's played first team step 5 before. He's played step 6 for Larkfield. And he's been fantastic, you know, and I'm sure, you know, he'd be big enough to say that he's probably not delighted with the first goal from his perspective, but look, he's been fantastic for us, and if anyone deserves benefit of the doubt, it'd be him. But again, you know, George was signed to be our number 1. We got a little bit of a glimpse as to what he could be, and he's had his hand in plaster for 6 weeks. I mean, I've been really fortunate that Nath has been able to step up to the level he has.
Well, I think that's worth noting actually. Because Jack Gallagher was on the bench as well, you had something like, I think you had 5 players who'd been on the 23s coming through.
Yeah.
So that's showing, yeah, there's a pathway.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we say it every week now, credit to Jamie, credit to Bailey for creating a group of players that A, are getting to the level where they're good enough to contribute, and B, are willing to contribute. Because I think in previous seasons there hasn't been quite as much of a ambition for some of the boys to play for us. So I think what's happening now is the mentality is we want boys to come through, we want boys to progress, and I'm just here to open the door and try and give the opportunity. But likewise, they've then got to step through the door and take it, you know.
I think that's good that they are. But I mean, just in wrapping up, I mean, we played Punjab. I mean, and it's another one because, yeah, we've lost, but actually, there's sort of like some fire in the belly now to go at that and we're going to do this, you know.
I think there needs to be fire in the belly every game, and let's be honest, that was probably lacking from the Lingfield game, and people called us out on it, and we called ourselves out, you know. Don't necessarily need anyone pointing out the obvious, but it probably stings a little bit more when your fans or when your chairman, you know, kind of say to you that ain't good enough. No, you're right, that's not good enough. We need to set our bar higher, we need to set our standards higher. You know, Tunbridge Wells is a big club. At this particular moment in time, we're not where we want to be, but we still carry the standards that come with representing a club like Tunbridge Wells. And whatever happens, this is the thing. Like the boys that are coming through the 23s, the young local boys, they should know because they've grown up. They should know what comes with pulling on that shirt. I don't think some of them do, if I'm honest. I don't know whether maybe there's been a little bit of a period of mediocrity that maybe now, you know, if you're not careful, a little bit of rot sets in. And yeah, as I say, the fact that the boys are walking, you know, we're the huddle after the game, 4 or 5 of the boys spoke. Every single one of them said, that isn't good enough. So we're starting to set our standard. We've now got to back it up.
Well, that's great because that's the sort of response I think that people want to hear for Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's just good luck with that game, I think.
Yeah, talk's cheap at the end of the day. We've got to back it up with action.
Yeah.
And we need everyone to back it up with action. I really hope you guys turn up. I'm sure some of you, I know the diehards, I know the 30 or 40 of you that will be there every single week, but I'm sure some of the floaters supporters are maybe thinking us, weather don't look that great, there's no bar, might swerve that one. But it depends what you want, you know. I see people, you know, they'll give me a crying emoji on Facebook when they see the result. But come and watch us, come and help us, come and support us. You know, get the game sponsored so I can get it videoed. That would really help me, you know. I'm talking to Scott, you know, we're actively saying we need to get this video, we need to get these tracksuits, whether we cut this and it won't go out, I don't know, but maybe I don't want to speak out of turn, but ultimately, anything that can be done to help drive us in the right direction needs to happen, because ultimately I'll come and sit in front of you and take all the take all the rightful stick for our inadequacies, but ultimately we've all got to push in the right direction if we want success. It ain't gonna come without everyone pulling together.
And like I say, the fans are behind it, because a cold, wet Tuesday night in Glebe, there were we counted the whole crowd was 45.
Wow.
25 of them were Wells fans, so you know the fans behind you.
Yeah.
You know.
There's no question. There's a hardcore of fans here that are superb. You know, there aren't many clubs where the fans are calling meetings just to find what's going on. And
how can we help?
Yeah.
What can we do? Well,
and as I said at that meeting, and I don't think it's actually been said on camera, you know, one thing that you can definitely do to help is just be level in your expectations and stick with us, because you know, we can't be on a roller coaster of highs and lows. I know that can be what it's like watching your team, but if you guys can just be consistent with your support, give us a bit of the time, hopefully those of you that are there can go and talk about what they saw in terms of the performance, and we as a group of players and management are gonna keep pushing the bar, because we want better than that.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody does turn up on Saturday then. Good luck for that game.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.